super, and I found a bucket of paint. I took that and I started going on the rocks with it. You know, just writing like Savage Skulls on the rock. And they would see it big, and oh, that was your hand. Like, you know, I started getting a different kind of props, you know, because, you know, the fighting part, I'm fighting a little bit, but mostly like, yo, they were respecting that I was daring to put these up. But I didn't know nothing about real graffiti. I didn't know nothing. And mostly everybody wrote their name. It didn't matter if it was good called graffiti or not. People were already writing their name. We hang out in a corner block somewhere, everybody just writing something. Write down their names and their girlfriend names. No one's, and you know, they have their nicknames right now, but no one's really like going out bombing, you know? Like, the only way you hanged out, you put it up, you know? So it became like that, you know? Every corner, almost every neighborhood had popular people from the neighborhood had their names in that corner. Right next to the bodega or some kind of store, you had the popular thing, or the train station, like, you know, if you hang out at a train station. But them tags were small and with a regular marker. And then I met someone that first told me about graffiti, and that was a guy named called Smiling on 49. I was a Savage Skull. He was a Savage Nomad. Savage Skull and Savage Nomad was family, because Savage Skulls were so respected. We had a lot of good company with other gangs. So with a lot of respect, man, like if they needed our help, we'd go help them, and you know, vice versa. That's how it became family. So Savage Skulls, Seven Immortals, Latin Diplomat, a lot of crew had a lot of goodness together. But we had a lot of beef with Black Pearls, Blk Spades, you know, certain, and a lot of the Golden Guineas, and that other one, that five, I forgot the other one. Five Corners, they were bad Italian kids from Van Ness.
Oh, I heard
Corners, the Bronx Wheelers. Yeah, there was a lot of other ones we had beef with, you know. And,
Despite all efforts by social workers and specialized police units, gang violence had escalated to a fever pitch, plunging the streets into a state of continual war unlike anything the city had ever experienced before.
Drugs was a big factor, and gangs going haywire, lust for power, lust for turf.
The wars with street gangs could start from something that could be just as silly as stepping on somebody's boots. Wars could have started just from a rumor.
Territory was a big issue. I heard of like some dudes just getting popped from running down the wrong block.
The garbage can is here. If you go past that garbage can, although it's the same block in the same neighborhood, it could be a war.
The Devil's Rebels is a fighting gang. And on this night, they found their first victims outside a corner grocery store. What looks like child's play is not. In the middle of all this, a young man was stabbed.
It was the thing about conquering. You go to the turf, beat the hell out of these guys, and come back again and again until they were forced, either they break up or become part of the majority. So they did it through barbarian style, warrior, Vikings.
They tried to take over one of my division, but they didn't quite make it, and we killed 2 of their guys. They tried to burn down my clubhouse. We killed 2 of their guys. And 5 of their guys rolled up on one of the Savage Nomads. You know what he told them? Oh, we're going to give you hell, baby. We're going to give you hell. And they didn't even kill him.
There were big gang wars between the Savage Skulls, Blk Spades, between the Savage Skulls, the Bachelors.
You know, back then nobody had cell phones, but it's like drums, you hear it. You hear it all over the place. You know, one way or another you hear who has beef with who.
The violence was everywhere. You can see the fights across the street. You can hear the shouting at nighttime. What made life interesting in the South Bronx in those days with these young guys was fighting. Was killing, yo man, I killed a dude today. What you do, man? I stabbed him in the throat. What you do, man? Yo, I shot that dude. I burned this guy. You hear this. And this is every day.
It was a lawless time. Listen, if somebody got killed on Hewitt Place, their body stayed there. You know, an ambulance wouldn't dare come and pick that body up. The police came in riot gear to take that body out there, and they didn't do an investigation. They took that body out there as quick as possible because they didn't want to get it.
There's no ambulance coming. There are no ambulances, all right?
Yeah, how long, man? How long is that effect, man?
70s, when the drug trade came in the city, that totally changed the whole vibe of how we rumble. Now it's serious. Now we're gonna start shooting at each other.
In the 70s, you had firepower. You had some gangs with arsenals, man.
I've seen 357.
72? Exact. Yeah, this is early 70s, maybe 69, 70, yeah.
So was the Blk Spades some bad motherfuckers?
Yes, they used to fight on my block.
You ever saw them clash over there with any other
chains, golf clubs, baseball bats, knives, never no guns, straight up anarchy war. I seen them clash there. I seen them clash in Millbrook Project. Well, I've seen them running. Because once all the gangs come, one thing they would do is tell all the little kids, yo, get out of here. Because you see 100 or 200 gang members, we already know it's time to go. You know what I'm saying?
They had numbers like that?
Yes. And they got chains and bats, and they wouldn't really mess with the kids like us. You know, they would just come take over the park. And it was
yeah, I remember you was telling me they had some problem with the what was it, the Savage Nomads?
Savage Nomads, the Savage Skulls, the Cypress Bachelors, the Blk Spades.
And they came and cleared the park out.
Cleared the park out. Because what the thing back in the days was, the handball court
was where your mural.
Where your mural was, and they would deface a mural and come and take. That means
so the gang colors would be on the handball court.
Yeah, and I mean we coming to take this. So if they did that, then the other gang had to respond, or either you lost that territory. That means that gang came and housed your territory. So that was Blk Spade territory, and they defaced their mural.
Who defaced it?
I think it was the Savage Nomads, or one. I think it was Savage Nomads.
And then what was the repercussions from that?
War. They came from the Bruckner, and the Spades came from Cyprus, and that was it. They just got busy in the park. And my sisters and them came and got me because, you know, go get my mother, go get your, you know, because you see all these gangs coming out to sell all it. It's time to get in the house, man.
Coming out the subway.
Yeah, coming out everything. You know, the bus, wherever. It's just hundreds of them, man, with them colors on, man.
The black and white.
Yeah, hold on.
Yellow Benji, Charlie, those are my boys. Now those guys, they were truly activists. Yeah. We lost our minds. The Ghetto Brothers, even though they fought, their little spot where 161st, they were all, you go by there Friday, you hear them play music. That's what they did. They played music. But when you fucked with them, they were ready. And they were quickly organized because they were already natural social organizers.
Sure.
They were organizing their communities to do positive things. I used to go over there I was one of the lone Blk Spades, would go over there, hang with them, smoke some weed, sit there and listen to them play music. And of course they had the fine women there. And we became very, very good friends until this action started happening and they had to take sides and became a Black Latino thing, which was conjured up by the newspapers. But that whole meeting didn't do shit.
Yep.
All right, all it did was introduce us to the Javelins who were crazy. Those boys were they were Vietnam vets, and many of them, I believe, were drug addicts, but they were Vietnam vets. They had nice cars, and they'd kill you. Okay, we want to fight around a little bit, they'd kill you. So, you know, that's what we found out about the Javelins going to that. Oh, these guys are bad. All right, we might have to do it, you know, we have to get a little tougher with these guys, but that whole Avenue meeting, you know, was just, the venue was great because they opened it up. We were able to go there sometime and party and, you know, meet people and get out of there, but it's given more credit than it was.
That's right, because like you mentioned, rumbles continue to happen
all the time. Actually, after that, it didn't get any better. I remember the Seven Immortals. What's his name? The president of Seven Immortals. We got into something at Soundview Project, and it continued. It continued.
Yep. Absolutely. Did you all have a lot of run-ins with like the Savage Skulls, Savage Nomads?
Savage Skulls were, we liked the Savage Skulls, but again, it was racial animosity, you know. They were mostly Latino. Now here's the thing, the Savage Nomads, which was a Latin gang, was headed by a black man. Black Benji. You guys know anything about him? All right, really, he was from the Caribbean, but could speak Spanish. So he was able to garner his group. And mostly when you saw him, he was speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
But he was one of our rivals. We had a couple of rumbles with them. Nothing all out. I don't think. Nothing all out, but we had some stuff with them. 7 Immortals, Savage Skulls, and we're crazy. But we kind of got along with them because we both liked to wear stomper boots and stuff like that. Our dress was really crazy. So they kind of, I don't remember having too much against them. Again, mostly, you know, some of the stuff I hate to say was just us killing each other.
Yeah.
Any interactions with the bachelors? Any of the bachelor groups?
The bachelors, Hunt 40th Street right there, right? Cypress? Man. They actually, I believe, Oscar.
Yep, the Cypress
is
bachelors,
familiar with them,
right.
and about 10 years ago, we got into a conversation about them because I got hit in the head with a bat by these guys, and that was the pool stick guy. No, I don't remember now. Yeah. Anyway, I got knocked out by these guys. I wasn't all the way unconscious. I was able to get to a bus and get the hell home or whatever, but they were a pretty tough group. They weren't expansive like we were.
Yeah, sure.
They stayed pretty local where they were in their neighborhood. But that was another one, racial stuff, you know, started by these damn folks. But yeah, man. Yes.
Now,
all these memories, man.
As can be seen, Lucky Strike's concern was shaped largely by his previous involvement in the mostly Latino/A Savage Skulls gang. "I'd like this hate for black people at that time," he said when recalling the segregation of street life in those years. "It was so stupid." Ahern, 2001a. However, when he saw that there was little antagonism being exhibited towards him at hip-hop parties, it drew him closer to the movement. In other words, the dance and the music offered him an alternative approach to race relations in the Bronx, one which diverted considerably from his gang past.
Pro-Am, 7th Avenue. Well, the Zulu Nation is one of the first hip-hop organization in existence on the planet. Started back in 1973 with a lot of the legendary groups and DJs, b-boys, and graf artists. Back in the early 70s, I was part of I would call it like a organization as well, but you know, some of the organizations back then didn't have too much knowledge. And what happened was there was a lot of races going on in the early 70s with the drugs and everything. So there was a lot of groups around that time that was divided. And one of the groups that I was involved with was the Savage Skulls. And, you know, I was involved with them for a little bit. And then Bam was the Blk Spade. That was way before the Zulu Nation was in existence. And as we go along, a couple of years later, you know, we got involved with the with Bam's organization, the Zulu Nation. It kind of really changed like my whole life around because I would say my mind was in a different direction because it was happening in the South Bronx, you know, with different groups. You had to be Latino to be down with one group, or you had to be black to be down with the other group. So it kind of, you know, through the Bam's teachings and everything, kind of open up people's minds. That's why it's very important. A lot of people think that hip-hop only has 4 elements, but in originality, it has 5 because without the 5th element, which is knowledge, there wouldn't be any other element. Without you knowing anything, you wouldn't be part of no other element. I visited a couple